Welcome. Today, we're going to explore the ancient wisdom of Taoism and its really beautiful path to what's known as effortless living. We live in a world that feels like it's full of constant pressure, a world of striving, of conforming, of always being told who we should be. And this leaves us with a really profound and pretty urgent question. In the middle of all this noise, how do we find our true, authentic self? Well, ancient wisdom offers us a path, but it's not a set of rules to memorize. Not at all. It's more like a current to follow. This path is known as the Tao, which is often translated simply as the way. So let's begin our journey right there, with the search for the way. This right here is the Chinese character for Tao. You can see how it almost visually represents a road, a technique, or a path. This single character is really the anchor for our entire exploration today. So what is the Tao, really? Well, it's described as the fundamental natural order of all existence. Now, what's so important to grasp here is that the Tao is not a personal deity to be worshipped. It's more like the laws of nature, an impersonal force that guides everything. It's that simple but profound observation that reality, well, it just has a certain way about it. Okay, so if the Tao is the way, then how do we walk it? We find the answer in two core principles, which is what this next section is all about: flowing, not forcing. The very first principle is ziran. It means naturalness, and the characters literally translate to self-so or as it is. Ziran is all about living spontaneously, in harmony with your own nature, and just allowing life to unfold without trying to force it into these artificial patterns that our ego or society tries to impose on us. And this brings us right to Wu Wei. Now, this one's often misunderstood. People think it means non-action or doing nothing, but a much better way to understand it is effortless action or maybe non-forcing. It isn't about being passive at all. It's about acting without all that struggle, without the ego getting in the way. It's about action that arises freely and harmoniously with the moment, kind of like water flowing around a stone. A great modern analogy for Wu Wei is that psychological state we call flow. You know that feeling when you're just completely absorbed in an activity? Your skill has become so much a part of you that you just act spontaneously and effectively, without all that self-conscious thinking. That is the feeling of Wu Wei. But where do these principles of flowing, not forcing actually lead us? What's the destination of this journey? Well, it's the realization of the authentic person. The Taoist texts describe this ideal figure as the Zenren, which means the genuine person. This is someone who lives from their innate nature, completely unburdened by all those artificial roles and social masks we all learn to wear. Their identity just arises from within, not from all those external pressures. And to really understand this inner nature, we can look to a very familiar symbol, the yin-yang. It represents the harmony of two forces that are complementary, not opposing. And that same dynamic exists right inside each of us. So Taoism speaks of two selves. There's the hard self, which is associated with yang. This is the self of complexity, of striving and artificiality, and it's often driven by the ego. But in contrast, you have the soft self, associated with yin. This one embodies softness, simplicity, non-doing, and nature. And the Taoist path is really a path of cultivating this soft self. The classic Taoist text, the Laozi, actually considers the newborn infant to be the perfect being. And why is that? Because an infant is soft, responsive, and lives in the state of natural harmony, totally free from the striving and complexity that we all seem to accumulate over a lifetime. This right here is the essence of the soft self. Now, I know this can all feel very philosophical, so let's bring it into our lived experience with a simple, tangible practice you can do right now, the inner smile. This ancient Taoist meditation is just so profound in its simplicity. So first, you just find a quiet seat, and you center yourself with your breath. Then, you allow a gentle smile to form on your face, really feeling its physical warmth. The core of the practice is to then visualize this warm, positive energy spreading from your face throughout your entire body, directing it with loving attention to any part that might need some comfort. Now, to make this smile really genuine, it helps to use a personal trigger. So I invite you to ask yourself, what joyful memory, what thought of a loved one, or what feeling of gratitude could effortlessly bring a true inner smile to your face right at this very moment? And this personal reflection brings us to the very heart of the matter and to our conclusion. finding your own Tao. You see, this leads to the most important takeaway of all. Taoism isn't asking you to adopt some new belief. The Tao is not something outside of you. As one source wonderfully puts it, asking, do you believe in the Tao, is kind of like asking, do you believe in your height? It's simply the unique way you already are, your innate nature, your individual path. We don't need to search for the path because we are the path. And so we can rest in this profound, simple truth. Your Tao has always been and will always be a part of you.